Hey, Bitcoin Cash community, Sovereign here with the update on the Bitcoin Cash 10x frequency scaling proposal. So after I've done kind of a deep dive into this proposal with the pros and the cons, it seems to me that the security is the main concern, essentially. So as far as I understand it, for someone to attack the chain, they have to pay for a bunch of miners, so there's a cost to that. And then they have to maintain that attack for a certain duration in order to destabilize the other miners who are mining it for the block reward incentive. So there's that negative incentive where it would essentially be 10 times as cheap to attack the Bitcoin Cash chain if the frequency of blocks are coming 10 times faster, because the time cost of paying for those miners is would be 10 times as much. So unless I can talk with someone who knows more about the security features of Bitcoin Cash, maybe that's not an issue. There's some protections against forking, or I just don't understand it fully. But just from my limited understanding, it makes sense to me that I still believe, I don't know how many people in the Bitcoin Cash community actually believe this, but I do believe that that BitcoinCore will fail, and that Bitcoin Cash will eat the market cap of BitcoinCore. I fully believe that for the fundamental reasons of the cryptocurrency, and with the current difficulty adjustment and the advantages that Bitcoin Cash already has over Bitcoin, it doesn't need another advantage of a higher frequency in order to outcompete BitcoinCore. It already has all the tools that it needs, and new tools are already getting developed by other people. And from my perspective, that security risk of this 10x frequency protocol would go away after the flippening between Bitcoin Cash and BitcoinCore. So you hear this term, the flippening. I've heard it many different times in many different contexts, but the first time that I heard it used was in relation to Bitcoin Cash and BitcoinCore, and that's how I'm using it. So I think that once the flippening occurs between the two, and Bitcoin Cash has market dominance, then it would make sense to do that frequency upgrade so that it can continue to scale, and there's not the risk of the competing blockchain. It's basically a zero-sum game between Bitcoin Cash and BitcoinCore, because it's the same mining pool that they are energized by. That's like the underlying energy that's creating the utility that the people are speculating on the value of. So once there's not that incentive to attack the chain from the bigger, slower, broken one wants to undermine the one that can beat it in a fair competition. Like, oh, here we're at the Gladiator movie with whatever the actor is, the newer Gladiator movie, where is it Joaquin Phoenix who's the emperor or whatever, but he like stabs or poisons the general, and then it's like, oh, we'll undermine you, and then we'll have a competition, and anyways, the general still wins, but then they die in the end. So it's not the best analogy. So yeah, sorry for the tangent. But anyways, so I'm just gonna shelve it as far as my support, unless I can have a conversation with someone who can put those concerns at ease for for me. I'm not gonna promote it anymore. So this will be episode 5 in the 10x frequency series, where I made an alluded to Star Wars in the last one, episode 4. So we're at The Empire Strikes Back, and Han Solo gets frozen in carbonite. So the frequency proposal will be Han Solo in this analogy, and maybe there will be another episode after the flippening is, I guess, when Luke Skywalker trains with Yoda, and then he'll come back, and then we'll have the frequency update. That's all.